Welcome to Biblical Insight. In the quiet corners of our hearts, we all feel it, a universal primal desire for connection. Yet shadowing this desire is a palpable fear, a hesitation to step into the vulnerability that true intimacy requires. It's a tension that defines much of our modern relational landscape. To navigate this territory with any hope of success, it is strategically vital to understand a foundational truth. Love, at its very core, is an act of profound risk. Navigating relationships today feels harder than ever. We are sold a story of effortless connection, yet our lived experience is often one of struggle, disappointment, and pain. It leads many of us to view love as one of life's greatest adventures, but also one of its most dangerous. To grasp the scale of this danger, consider the world of extreme sports. Think of parachuting from thousands of feet or base jumping from a cliff edge. What do all these activities share? They are defined by a singular, terrifying moment of total surrender, the act of falling. It is a complete letting go, a yielding of control where you must trust something external to you. The parachute, the integrity of your equipment. Now consider the phrase we use for love. Falling in love. It is perhaps the most dangerous fall of all. It demands the same total surrender, the same radical letting go. But here is the critical difference. When you fall in love, there is no certified safety equipment. There is no inspected parachute. The risk feels absolute because it is your heart, your future, and your deepest sense of self that are on the line. It is precisely this inherent risk that leads so many of us, especially after being hurt, to ask a weary, honest question. Love, do I actually still want this? Before we search for answers, allow yourself to feel the weight of that question. Acknowledge the weariness, the ghosts of past hurts, the quiet fear that it's simply easier to be alone. There is no judgment here, only honesty. It is from this honest place that we can begin to seek wisdom. When the relational models offered by our culture consistently lead to failure, the strategic imperative is to consult a more ancient and durable manual. However, we must approach the Bible not as a simple book of rules, but as a training ground for wisdom. Its strategic value lies not in providing easy answers, but in stress testing our character against complex realities, beginning with the most foundational relationship in our faith. We are living through an unprecedented explosion of singleness. Across Western Europe, Asia, and North America, more people are living alone than ever before. At the same time, the relationships that do form often feel fragile, lasting for shorter and shorter durations. This isn't just a statistic. It is a shared cultural experience of pain, disconnection, and a deep-seated retreat from intimacy. In the face of this crisis, our first instinct is to open the Bible and search for the perfect model couple, a step-by-step guide for courtship, engagement, and marriage. And here we encounter a startling surprise. The New Testament offers no single, comprehensive relational blueprint. Instead, we find cautionary tales like the catastrophic deceit of Ananias and Sapphira. We find inspiring but brief mentions of ministry partners like Priscilla and Aquila, whose story is told in only a few verses. There is no perfect template, no simple checklist to follow. So where does the Bible point us? It directs our attention to a relationship that began not in harmony, but in crisis. Mary and Joseph. Their story becomes the central case study, precisely because their commitment was not forged in ease, but in confusion, potential shame, and an almost impossible test of faith. Their relationship was stress-tested from its very inception. The crisis begins in Matthew 1. Joseph, a betrothed man, discovers his fiancée Mary is pregnant. From his perspective, there is only one devastating conclusion: betrayal. His world, his honor, and his future collapse in an instant. Yet the text reveals something essential about his character. Joseph, being a righteous man and not wanting to disgrace her, planned to send her away secretly. Even in his moment of deepest personal pain, his integrity compelled him to protect Mary from public ruin. Contrast this with the modern tendency to weaponize breakups, to shame a former partner on WhatsApp or Instagram. Joseph, though wounded, chose honor over revenge. It is in this state that an angel intervenes, revealing the divine nature of Mary's pregnancy. This revelation presents Joseph with the ultimate choice, a choice that echoes through every challenged relationship today. Retreat into the safety of solitude, or take the radical risk of building a life with Mary, embracing a reality that is, at that moment, the very source of his pain. It feels like we're more connected than ever, but lonelier than ever. Let's be honest about this feeling. This deep ache of being alone, even when you're in a crowd or in a relationship. This isn't just a feeling, it's a spiritual condition we need to understand. To truly diagnose our modern crisis of connection, we must understand that loneliness is not a single problem, but a cascading failure across three integrated systems: body, soul, and spirit. This triple solitude is a spiritual condition where a deficit in one area inevitably weakens the others. Strategically, we cannot solve one without addressing all three, starting with the most tangible, our physical retreat from one another. This is the most visible form of our relational withdrawal, a physical retreat from the risks of embodied love. The sexual recession. We are living through what can only be described as a relational cataclysm. In the last 30 years, the average frequency of sexual intimacy in developed nations has plummeted by an astonishing 30%. Historically, declines of 10 to 15% were associated with major wars or pandemics. This signals a fundamental retreat from shared physical intimacy. Habits of isolation. We actively cultivate personal bubbles. The moment you enter a public space, headphones go in, creating an invisible shield that signals your unavailability for human interaction. Return to substitutes. This retreat doesn't eliminate desire, it redirects it. You turn inward towards substitutes like pornography and self-satisfaction. Why? Because it feels safer. It avoids the complex, demanding, high-energy work of building real trust and vulnerability with another person. It offers gratification without the risk of rejection. The logical endpoint. The ultimate and frankly chilling expression of this trend is found in the story of a young woman who has fallen in love with an AI chatbot. Her reasoning is revealing and heartbreaking. "It understands my heart," she says. "It never gives me a hard time." When asked about physical intimacy, her answer was simple and terrifying. She's just waiting for the robotics to catch up. If we continue down this path, we risk becoming handicapped in love, paralyzed by a fear of vulnerability, choosing simulated connection over the demanding but vital work of real human commitment. This is the emotional loneliness of being unseen, unheard, and misunderstood. It is the feeling that gnaws at people, even within a marriage. In fact, an overwhelming majority of people report that what they miss most is not sex, but tenderness. If you've been hurt, your instinct is to build emotional armor. You harden your heart to protect yourself from future disappointment. The tragic irony is that this armor, designed for protection, ends up blocking the very tenderness you desperately need. A powerful anecdote illustrates this. A teenager calls his mother to say, "I love you." One mother responds with warmth and affection. The other responds with suspicion. "What's wrong? What do you want?" It's not that she doesn't love her child. It's that her own heart, so starved of tenderness, can no longer easily digest it. This is the illusion of our hyper-connected world. You can have thousands of followers online, but when a true crisis hits, who actually shows up? The soul knows the difference between a like and a loving presence. This is the deepest solitude, the eternity-shaped void at the core of our being that no human relationship can ever fill. The greatest error you can make in a relationship is asking another person to be God for you. You place a burden on your spouse or partner that they were never designed to carry. The Apostle Paul reveals the only true cure for this spiritual ache. He explains that our spirit is designed to connect directly with the Spirit of God. Through Christ, we are adopted into God's family. We are no longer orphans. This divine connection is what makes a person truly complete, regardless of their marital status. Paul himself, a single man, was not incomplete. He was whole in Christ. You can be physically alone and struggle with soul loneliness. But if you have a secure, vibrant connection with God, you are never spiritually alone. This divine presence is the only guaranteed cure for our deepest solitude. So you see the depth of the problem. But right there, in that moment of crisis, Joseph was given a choice. And it's the same choice you face when a relationship gets hard, when the past shows up, when you feel hurt. You can run or you can risk. The decision to truly love is not a passive feeling, but a conscious, radical choice. To embrace the biblical model of love, it is strategically essential to understand it as an act of self-abandonment, a concept that stands in stark contrast to the world's transactional model. The world's model of love is often an exchange. I give to get. It is contractual, conditional, and focused on returns. The biblical model of agape love is one of total, non-conditional self-giving. As God so loved the world that He gave, our love is meant to be a reflection of that same sacrificial abandonment. In a committed relationship, this means loving with your whole self, body, and soul. What follows is a principle intended only for a marriage already characterized by deep mutual love, unwavering trust, and a proven commitment to the other's well-being. Outside of that sacred context, this teaching is not only misunderstood, but dangerous. The Apostle Paul presents this foundational teaching on intimacy in 1 Corinthians 7:3-5, stating that in marriage, a husband's body belongs to his wife, and a wife's body belongs to her husband. It is crucial to be clear. This is not a license for abuse, coercion, or demand. This passage must be understood within the context of mutual submission. Its revolutionary meaning is found in the radical shift of focus it demands. The goal of intimacy is no longer self-gratification, but a selfless competition in giving. My primary objective becomes your pleasure, your fulfillment, your well-being. When both partners adopt this mindset of mutual prioritization, the result is an intimacy that is truly life-giving. The greatest obstacle to this kind of self-surrender is undealt with history. Many of us enter relationships with a self-righteous pride, demanding a trophy partner whose past meets our legalistic standards. I have to share a raw, personal account of this very struggle. Full of pride in my own perceived purity, I fell in love but was confronted with my fiancé's past, which did not align with my perfect ideal. A judgmental anger rose within me, directed at both her and God. My spiritual correction came through a powerful word from Acts 10, when God tells Peter, "Do not call anything impure that God has made clean." This lesson is a grave warning. Countless relationships today are being destroyed because one partner is making the other pay for a past that Christ has already forgiven. If you are making your partner pay for a past that Christ has already forgiven, you are operating outside the bounds of grace. You cannot claim to follow a Savior who moved toward the broken, while you demand perfection from the person you claim to love. This is where it gets really practical. So many of us have been sold a lie, a beautiful romantic lie from fairy tales and movies that cripples our ability to build something real. We have to tear down this myth before we can ever build a love that lasts. The myth of the one. Love isn't found, it's built. Dismantling the cultural myth of the soulmate is a critical strategic step toward embracing the biblical model of love. The truth is that lasting love is not a matter of passive discovery, but of active, daily construction. The concept of the one, that single perfect, preordained person who will complete you, is a dangerous mixture of Hollywood fantasy and questionable theology. It's dangerous for two reasons. One, it places an impossible burden on another flawed human to be perfect and meet your every need. Two, it provides an easy excuse to quit when things get difficult. If conflict arises, it's easier to conclude they must not have been the one than to do the hard work of building. The Bible never speaks of finding the one. Instead, the language in Genesis is one of active creation. A man and a woman shall leave, hold fast, and become one flesh. Notice the future tense. It is a process, not a pre-existing state. The unique, sacred entity is not the individual you find, but the couple you form together. This truth is beautifully illustrated in the wisdom of old age. Imagine a tender old couple, a papi and mammy, sitting on a bench, holding hands after decades together. If you ask the old man, "Papi, how did you find mammy?" he would likely smile and say, "My child, I didn't find her. We built this, reconstructed our love day by day for a lifetime." If love is a construction project, then 1 Corinthians 13 is the blueprint. It is not merely a poetic reading for a wedding. It is a practical, demanding, step-by-step guide. Building a lasting union requires patience, bearing with flaws and irritations. Kindness, actively seeking your partner's good. Not envying, genuinely celebrating their successes as your own. Not being self-seeking, prioritizing the we over the me. Keeping no record of wrongs, practicing active, daily forgiveness. This brings us full circle to Joseph. He made the courageous choice to risk, to surrender his expectations, and to build a life with Mary. And what was the ultimate result of their constructed union? The birth of a child whose name is Emmanuel. The profound insight here is that the name means God with us. The ultimate blessing was not for Joseph or Mary individually, but for the couple, for the unique us that they constructed with God at the center. The truly unique entity, the real one, is the union you build together. May you hold on to the hope found in Jeremiah 29:11, that God has plans for you, plans for peace and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope.